rumors going around. This is a extra bonus rumor for you. Roman Reigns is not in the list of names to win the Royal Rumble this year. So, whoever wins the Royal Rumble is most likely going for the title on SmackDown. Because Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is going to happen at WrestleMania. So even if we saw Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor, yeah, it might be a great match. However, Finn ain't going to win it. He won't. It's not going to happen. So even if there's a match, and the reason I don't think they're going to have the match is not because Finn Balor's not over enough. That might be the excuse that was used, but it's because Brock Lesnar can't handle another 15-minute match. And that's my dead solid opinion. The guy can't wrestle for more than 15 minutes. He got, you saw him at the end of him versus AJ Styles. He was worn out, he was beaten, and there's a reason people believed he was legitimately hurt. It was because they haven't seen him in that long of a match before. If you think about the matches he has had that were long, he was out because he hurt his rib going through the table. How many times did we see that? So no, I don't think Brock Lesnar will be defending the Universal title at the Royal Rumble. I don't think Brock Lesnar will have a match at the Royal Rumble. So I think the next time we see him wrestle will be at WrestleMania. If I'm wrong, I will be okay with that. Alright, and that is it for the rumor roundup, and we are exiting
the rumor closet.
Alright guys, now on this part of the show, we are going to take a topic of the wrestling world today, and we're going to discuss it a little bit, break it down, see what the possibilities are, and what this could lead to, what we think is going to happen. And this is where I'm going to use a lot of the listeners' input. So pay attention here, and we're going to go into a hell of a topic today for you. And I'm not talking about no ordinary hell of a topic. I'm talking about
Hell in a Cell
sort of topic. Alright guys, one of the things that I really want to discuss, and I've been wanting to discuss, and I'm glad that this is happening on my first episode, is the double trio on SmackDown and Raw. Now, confusion to the max definitely presented itself in my brain. I saw Paige come back. Guys, first of all, Paige is back. Yeah, that's a big deal. Awesome. Sweet, dude. Paige is back. Dude, that's cool, bro. Awesome. Paige is back, but she's not alone. She came with two other chicks who are pretty badass in their own saying. You got Mandy Rose, who, she's pretty. She's that pretty blonde girl that, WWE likes to throw out there. And then you got Sonya Deville, who's just straight up, I'm going to kick your butt whether you want me to or not. And, she's a tough chick. She's a tough chick, man. And then you got Paige, who's kind of like in between, who's, I think, is a great leader. And they, of course, came onto the scene, and they completely destroyed the women's locker room and the women's champion and Alexa Bliss, and they're on Raw. And, they killed it. And I'm thinking, okay, this is not what I expected. It's a random team. Yeah, a very random team. But, I guess I'm okay with it. Paige is leading it. That's pretty sweet. And let's see where it goes. And then I tuned into SmackDown the next night. And lo and behold, the same exact thing happened. And that left me confused beyond belief. And you're wondering why it left me confused if you aren't, updated on the daily wrestling thing. The reason I was confused was because it was three different women doing the exact same thing that three other women on Raw did, except on SmackDown. You have Ruby Riott. You have Sarah Morgan. And you have Liv. No, you have Liv Morgan. I'm sorry. You have Sarah Michelle and then Liv Morgan. And they did the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm checking my notes. I totally drew a blank on Sarah Logan. Sarah Michelle. Sarah Logan. And now everybody that I've named in these two trios, all besides Paige, is they are NXT superstars. And well, I say NXT superstars. However, the only one who really appeared on NXT television was Ruby Riott and, well, I guess Liv Morgan too, and Sonya Deville a little bit. She's been more on NXT the past 2 weeks than any other time before. Sorry guys, hold on a second. My headphones kind of messed up a little bit. And a microphone. Okay, now excuse me for the mishaps and errors and stuff going on. This is my first episode into the podcast world, so it's not going to be completely perfectly clean, which is why I want a lot of feedback from you guys. Now let's continue. And then, we saw Sarah Logan in the Mae Young Classic. She's a tough chick, man. She's tough. There's nothing about... Everyone in this, show is tough. But now let's see the similarities of these two teams. First, both teams are very random. Very random. Not the story, two different stories, but just the people involved. Very random. You have... And I see what they're kind of doing. You have Sonya Deville, tough chick, tough, tomboy type of chick just because she's so tough. And then on the other team you have Sarah Logan, same, tomboy, tough, can beat you up, doesn't care what you think, she's going to beat you up. So you compare those two, then you have Mandy Rose and Liv Morgan, the two pretty blondes, who are also tough, but they're pretty and they're blonde. And then you have the anti-divas, Paige and Ruby Riott. It's like, this is random, doesn't really make sense. It's quite confusing, to be honest. And people are, kind of closing it out because it doesn't make sense. They don't know what's going on, and so they shut the door. Guys, can we just stop for a moment and just, this is one of the things. We can't criticize and, point out all the scripts and all this stuff, and if it doesn't make sense, say, forget about it, I'm out of here. Stop. Guys, this is where we need to find that median and enjoy it as if it were real. Enjoy it as if it were real. Believe it a little bit. Enjoy. What the heck? I wasn't expecting this. That's cool. I want to know more. I want to watch. I'm going to stay tuned next week so I can know what's going on. I want to know more about this women's double trio. What are they doing? Is it, are they one team? And they're, is it kind of like the Bullet Club of WWE women's division? They're cleaning up the Raw and the SmackDown, and they're going to come together and then just take down both locker rooms. Is it like the Shield on each different show? You got Shield 1, Shield 2, and they're going to collide one day, and it's going to create some big impact where you have the Shield versus the Shield type scenario. Are we going to see, other women unite, kind of like we did, with Charlotte and, who was it? Charlotte and Becky and, I forgot who else, but, are we going to see the 4 horsewomen reunite and to fight one of these teams? there's a lot of things that could happen. I don't know what they're doing now. I do know the teams have separate names. Ruby Riot's team is known as the Riot Squad, and that's Riot with 2 T's. Yeah, that's right, an extra T. And then Paige's team is Absolution. So it is, it's not the Paige Squad. So there is difference, but Absolution, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm digging the Riot Squad. And I like Paige, guys, and everybody likes Paige, but there is a big difference between Ruby Riot and Paige. And they're both considered the anti-diva. However, Ruby Riot is the real deal. She is the anti-diva if there was one. Paige, she's a big star on Total Divas. So, kind of conflicts with the whole anti-diva thing. And if I have a preference, I'm personally Ruby Riot all the way. I've seen her independent stuff, and she's going to kill it, and you're going to see why. If you don't know her that well, pay attention. Paige is really good on the mic, and that's, where she really shines, and she's good in the ring too, not taking anything away from her. Now, let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Why I think they have 2 teams kind of thrown up into the women's divisions on each show. This is what I think is going to happen. Not specifically with the teams itself. That's still a surprise. I'm not sure. But the reason we've had such a random throw up of women's to the main roster is, the past week we've had a lot of women's first. We've had the women's first Money in the Bank match. We've had the women's first Hell in a Cell match.
Hell in a Cell.
We've seen a women's Survivor Series match. We've seen women's cage match. What I think is going to happen, and I am so totally okay with this, is I think we're going to see the women's first Royal Rumble match.
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah, guys, I think it's going to be sick. I do. And I know you guys are probably scratching your head at what? The women's Royal Rumble? What? That sounds stupid and a waste of time and a waste of a good pay-per-view. And guys, listen, I know we've seen women's battle royals, and they are just not fun to watch. They're not exciting. I don't think I've seen one that I was just like, wow, that took my breath away. I was on the edge of my seat, and I didn't know who was going to win. No, guys, I understand that. I get it. I totally do. But look at this. Now, you have a women's Royal Rumble match. What does that mean? That means you have debuts. And that could be, people from other brands making a debut like AJ Styles did. Or you have debuts from NXT into the main roster women's, I think Peyton Royce and Billie Kay will be a possible candidate coming into the Royal Rumble. I think Peyton Royce will come up first, and then Billie Kay will join in the Royal Rumble, or vice versa. You could have returns, for the night, such as legends, Lita, Trish. That's stuff that I would love to see. You see them get back in the ring for a night. Dude, if I hear Lita's music hit, I will be going crazy. Returns for actual weekly in-ring action. Nikki Bella, her music hits. Think about that, dude. That would be crazy. Heck, Brie Bella. Are you kidding me? Now, imagine this, all right? I want you to throw in your imagination caps with me real quick, and I doubt this will ever happen, ever in a million years, never ever going to happen. But imagine, counts down, 3, 2, 1, and then a song hits and a song you've heard before, and you're thinking,